Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday live stream. Got a lot of things to go over. Let's just jump right into it. So first thing, just as the thumbnail and title suggest, I want to take a look at just where we're at, because it seems like there's a lot of negativity in the market right now, even though we are blasting through some all-time highs. Just yesterday, we saw Bitcoin hit all-time high. Now, it regressed because of the fact that Donald Trump came into office. The inauguration was yesterday. And as far as executive orders, we're going to talk about just how many he signed for crypto. We'll get into that in a second. But it just seems like there's like a little bit of negativity. And I talked to my friend Jerry Hall this morning as I was strolling along the beach doing my workouts. And he is extremely bullish. And I just asked him, I go, Jerry, why are you so bullish? He goes, look, there's a lot of things going on in the background, especially with hypercycle, especially with AI and crypto. He goes, people just don't know. So I'm going to have Jerry on the show tomorrow. You can ask him all the questions you want. But he just said people should not be bearish at this point. And he said, just look at 2017. I'm like, yeah, take a look at that. So this is actually from Ben's website, Into the Cryptoverse. You want to check it out? Links in the description, 10% off the first month. And what I'm going to show you is what's called, there's going to be two things we're going to look at. We're going to look at the ROI, the return on investment from the cycle bottom. And we're also going to take a look at the ROI after the halving, which we just had in April 20th, 2024. So let's just go on this one real quick, because I know there's some people that are bearish, but I think the majority of people that come here are extremely bullish. I need to really start to separate the people who have come here for quite a bit of time, which is pretty easy to do as a bunch of wrenches, and for those who are just tourists. And I think if you're a tourist, welcome, but and this is just the facts. So let's jump into it. So let's see. So, okay, for the ROI, this is, of course, from the cycle bottom, which was November 2022. And we can just see that, at this time, I think we hit at 17,600. And of course, everybody, almost everybody, was calling for Bitcoin to go sub 10K and below. And of course, that was when FTX was collapsing. That was when Voyager was collapsing. Celsius was collapsing. BlockFi, and everything was collapsing at this point. And we're like, okay, we're never going to come back. And we do, just like it always happens, and things repeat, and these are the cycles, and these are the patterns. But what does that look like as far as market cycle 4 and market cycle 3? And those were the two previous ones. This was when we had a run up in 2017, also when we had a run up in 2021. And we can just see that as far as like bottoms, where are we right now? And this is why I'm excited, because I don't think this is like 2021. 2021, we got screwed out of a bull run, a real proper one. And it was because all the shenanigans that were going on behind the scenes, which I got to tell you, just between us, I think there's some crazy stuff going on Coinbase. And we're going to talk about that in a second with their Solana transactions. And I think they got caught red-handed. But if we take a look here, let me zoom in here. This will make sense if I actually zoom. When in doubt, zoom out. But when you want some really good data, you got to zoom in. So right here in this purplish color is market cycle 5, right? It's January 21st. And the return on investment since the bottom, whatever the bottom was, 17,000, whatever, we can see that we're actually up 6.5x, which is pretty good. And this thing above here, this green one, you would think, oh, well, this is probably 2017. No. This is the 2020, 2021, the green one. And we are more closely tracking with the 2016, 2017 return on investment since the bottom ROI. Look at this. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's way, way closer. Come over here. And it's like people talk about that coil that tightens and tightens and tightens, and then just gets spring-loaded and phew, there it goes. Now, you can see, let me reset this, that things get a little bit convoluted right here as far as 2017 and 2021. But the big thing is, where do we end up? It's not where you start, it's where you end up. And that market cycle 3, which ended 2017, we can see just how far up it actually went. And it was a 96x. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to 96x. I'm just saying this is closely tracking more so 2017 than 2021. And if we take a look and we really just break it down, let's just take a look at, that was the ROI at the bottom. Let's take a look after the halving, which is the most recent. right? Again, I'm going to get rid of having cycle 1. Let's just get rid of 2 and 3 for a second. Okay. If we look at this, again, where are we? April 20th, 2024. That was our halving. We did okay. I mean, pretty good, right? Came down here. And as of right now, since the halving, how much are we up? 1.6. Not too bad. I'll take it for what it was. If we take a look at the cycle 3 and cycle 2, again, cycle 2, 2017, which one do we more closely mimic? Do we mimic the one from 2020 in orange? Or are we mimicking the one in 2016, 2017? You be the judge of this one. So again, I think that we are in a great position. I think that the bearish people that are talking about, oh, this didn't happen, are very short-sighted. And I think that we're going to have a great 2025. It's all about perspective. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Now let's move on to something that's a little concerning. And this has to do with Solana, and this has to do with Coinbase. First of all, Brian Armstrong, he was on CNBC to talk about the recent executive orders and what Trump signed, and also how he felt about the crypto industry at large and what he wants. And he made a very good statement. He said, look, we are just wanting for regulatory clarity. We don't want to bypass the system like Elizabeth Warren says we're trying to do. We just want some guidance. Just give us some rails and we'll follow those rails. And it was a pretty good interview. And he pretty much said, like, as far as like Trump and the meme coin, he's like, look, he goes, we're in America. This is a free place. Most of the world is free, somewhat. So he goes, I'm not going to take away somebody's ability to do meme coins. He goes, they want to do it, that's fine. He goes, so that's just on top of them. And he also made a good point. He said, you know, don't discount or dismiss meme coins so quickly. He goes, the internet in the very early days was just a place for stupid memes and cats and cat videos and stuff like that. And people all thought it was a scam and only a place where you go to lose your money because all the scammers were on the internet. And of course that evolved. I'm old enough to remember those times. No one bought stuff on the internet. No, Amazon wasn't around. Nobody bought this stuff because they're like, oh, I'm just going to put my information so you can steal it. Fast forward 2025, I pretty much do everything on Amazon now. I don't know about you, but it was a good interview. However, with the advent of Trump coin and Melania coin and the craziness that was surrounding that, there was a lot of issues with Coinbase. And it wasn't just Coinbase, I'll remind you. There were issues on the decentralized exchanges. I know some people said they didn't have any problems. I had problems. Other people here in Puerto Rico had problems. There's also problems with Phantom Wallet. I actually tweeted that out. There was issues. And the question was, well, what's going on with Coinbase? Is it the chain, or is it the wallet, decentralized exchanges, or centralized exchanges? And I don't think it was actually the chain. And Ansem puts out something like, I'm done using Coinbase until the issues with Solana transaction times are fixed. Brian says, team is working hard on scaling our Solana infrastructure now. Lots of Solana activity the last few days. We were not anticipating this level of surge. I want you to remember this. We were not anticipating this level of surge. And look, people will say, you know, oh, I didn't have any problems, or this guy didn't have any problems. I didn't have any problems. Well, there were problems. And this is from Curb, and I linked his X account in the description. And he talks about, he goes, look, Brian, Coinbase, have been dealing with insolvency last cycle, FTX, which is a good point. We demand answers into why it's taking 9+ hours to send, receive, sold. Takes less than 1 second. Now, I wouldn't be aware of this if it wasn't for guys like Curb, because I take stuff off of the exchanges because I have rules. The rules are right beneath me. They've helped me a lot since the collapse in 2022. Don't invest more than you can invest, meaning it's all gone. So just dismiss it. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. 100% scams. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. No exchanges. You can obviously use exchanges, but you don't leave stuff there. You take it off. Don't use leverage, and take profits along the way because somebody went broke taking profits. They're very simple, and you can incorporate those or not. But like, again, I didn't know this was a thing until this guy Curb talked about it. And apparently there's like, the status was 9 hours on Coinbase. And this another guy, I am Ladrician, status was failed. And people will immediately say, oh, it's because if you don't like Solana, you're probably immediately saying, well, it's because Solana just shut down and it sucks. It's not the case. Other people said the same thing. I'm having problems. I'm having problems. I'm having problems. So there was this. And the question was, well, why are they having problems? Because the chain is the chain. I've used the chain. We've done giveaways very fast. Curb says this, developing. It's looking very likely that Coinbase was caught staking their customers' soul without customers' consent. This is not okay if confirmed. I'm not here to confirm it. I'm just here to relay this information. But it looks like it. This is from Side Hustle. And again, I link this. You can follow Curb and find all this stuff on Twitter or X. Side also states Coinbase's largest validator is currently set to unstake 567,000 Solana at the end of Epic, 5% of its stake or 130 million. Did they run out of liquid SOL and are now waiting till the Epic boundary to push their withdrawals? And Orion says, I don't think they've actually run out, but the unstake amount is definitely interesting, kind of suspect. Of course, there's no reason to unstake it. Why would you unstake it? You're just losing out on funds because you have things locked up. The reason why you unstake it is because you have a problem with liquidity over here. Just like Brian said, we were not anticipating this level of surge, and that's why we staked all your Solana, allegedly. So if that's going on, people are going to start, like Richard here talks about fractional reserve lending. I don't think it's a fractional reserve issue. I just think it is an issue on Coinbase. So if you think that it's okay to leave stuff on exchanges, that's up to you. Have fun. But I will remind you of there's things out there like loans and different stuff that I will not participate in. Coinbase is getting into the loan industry, and have fun with that. I will not be touching it. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And lastly, what did Donald Trump sign for executive orders as far as crypto digital assets? 0. And I think you already know this if you've been following around on X. But as far as executive orders go from the president's office, this is what was signed. And I took a look at this. They're going to do a federal work freeze, except for members of the military, review investigative action. They're going to take actions on the border, declare migrant crossing to be a national emergency. This is a good one. Consider designated cartels, drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. I think we can all get behind that. Tariffs and trade, they're going to go forward with that. And they're also going to create what's called an external revenue service. Instead of the IRS, it's the external. And really what this comes down to is tariffs. And let's see if I have did I do the picture? Oh, yeah. So just real quick, because tariffs are tariffs. So let's say you got a t-shirt in USA, right? And it's 14 bucks. That's how much it costs. Everybody's happy. Money stays within the United States because people are buying United States goods. Great. Now, let's say you get that shirt from China. It's only 12 bucks. Well, as a business owner, you're like, I'll take the $12 one. That's better for me and my business, which is true. But what Trump wants to do is do these tariffs and say, okay, well, if we want to do that, you want to import those, you're going to pay a tariff of whatever, 20. In this case, it's 25%. And usually who collects that is customs and border agents. But customs is going to potentially be replaced by this external revenue service. So again, if let's say Walmart imports a t-shirt from China for $12, now there's going to be more of a tax. And what does Walmart usually do? Well, they got to pay it, but they'll probably pass off that price hike to the consumer, potentially. So what it means is maybe they buy more American goods. I know that Mercedes-Benz, they actually moved one of their entire SUV plants into the United States to stop all types of tariffs. So I'm not here to talk about what tariffs are and they're going to be good. That's for the macro nerds. But that's essentially what it is in a nutshell. And that's the external revenue service as it pertains to this article. And let's see, environmental rules, TikTok ban. I guess he lifted that somehow. And I actually got this when I went to TikTok. Welcome back. Thanks for your patience. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the US, and they put that right on the app, which I think was pretty interesting. So for all the people who love TikTok, I don't get into it, but I guess it's back. Congratulations. And then lastly, they're going to, and he signed an executive order, implement the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, which is Elon Musk. And as a side note, real quick, Vivek Ramaswamy has been tapped to be the senator of Ohio, which J.D. Vance left vacant. So he's going to step down, and now it's going to be just Elon Musk. But the reason why I bring it up is because the more talk of Doge and Dogecoin will probably pump my bags of Doge, and that's it. So maybe you might want to think about that. Adding Doge into your portfolio, not a financial advice, but everybody's going to talk about Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, blah, blah, blah. And people don't understand the difference. Lastly, I've got Nate coming on today from Flex Point Studios. We don't know who they are. They're not co-sponsors, but co-creators of Talos, which is a autonomous intelligence or an artificial intelligence agent built on Cardano. And I didn't know who the hell Talos was until they started to follow me and then pop off and talk about some of my posts. And I was like, who is this guy? And I'm like, oh, this is an AI agent. That was very cool. So I invited Nate on to see how the heck they did that and where AI agents are going and why on Cardano. That should be a good one. And that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing when we talk about it's time sensitive. Now, if you want to do a little Q&A, answer all your questions, and then we'll go from there. All right. Oh, governor says he's not going to be the senator, he's running for governor. Really? Let's see. It just says office. Oh, yeah, you're right. Ohio Governor Mike DeWinn's second illegal his last term won in January 2027. Wow, that's a long time to run, but okay. Close enough for Dan. Yeah. The pool looks kind of foggy. It sure is. Yeah. And Rob says we are not at the top. Could we be the top now? It'd be the strangest 4-year cycle we've ever had. I mean, maybe we saw the top at 108,000. I don't know. But if it is, it is, it is. So sure. Let's see. Meme says Doge was created illegally, hence the lawsuit. I guess so. Seems like kind of a waste of funds, don't you think? Because where did the funds come to sue Doge? I'm going to guess our funds. I'm going to guess the taxes. Correct me if I'm wrong here. If that's the case, it's kind of like how we funded the SEC so they could sue the pants off of all the different centralized exchanges and projects so we could watch our portfolios dwindle. Now, you can look at that as a negative or a positive because it gave you a lot more time to actually accumulate before Gary got the big heave-ho, which I think he's out as of today or maybe yesterday. So, yeah, if there's a lawsuit against there, I would like actually the government to be a lot more efficient with how they spend our funds. And before anybody asks, well, you were in Puerto Rico, you don't pay taxes. Yeah, I do. I pay federal taxes. I pay federal, I pay Social Security, I pay income. So I want that money to be used correctly. I don't want it to be used for a $50,000 toilet seat. Seems kind of crazy. Let's see. I don't know why we're talking about that, though. Thoughts on Tucker lately? I still own Tucker. Tucker is a very entertaining YouTube channel and meme coin. But gosh, I mean, how is it doing? That's the question. That's all that really matters, right? Price points. Price points. Nobody cares about what's going on behind the scenes or anything like that. Oh, I did hear something good from Jerry and Hypercycle. They have these he calls them AIMs, artificial intelligence machines. And what he's going to allow people to do is to run nodes, like say my Cardano node, on it, and also have a learning language model for like what ChatGPT would use. So I think it's like a dual purpose. You have CPUs and GPUs in these new nodes that they're rolling out. I'm going to test that out for my Cardano stake pool. That would be very cool. So Tucker is down 21%. That sucks. Jeez, criminy Christmas. It's ranked 4,227. Well, that's a bummer. Let's see. Well, the channel's still entertaining. Unfortunately, the token looks like it's done. Well, that's a bummer. Hope everybody took some profits. Ed says, Rob, will you still be doing meetups once you step down? Yeah, I mean, I can still do them, which I think would be safer if I do them after I step down, because after I step down, I'll have sold my crypto, and then people can't wrench attack me when I know exactly where I'm going. So yeah, we'll keep doing that. But as a reminder, yesterday I was in a pretty crappy mood, I must admit, and a couple of reasons. But really what it comes down to is this. Sometimes even I get annoyed at people. Who'd thunk it? And I have to remember that the majority of people have really good input. They have really good ideas. They have really good thoughts. There's just this minority that just kind of, they're the trolls, and they just kind of screw it up they don't screw it up. I remember, not Vivek, Shamath, Palihapitiya, he was on the All In podcast, and he said something smart. He goes, nobody cares what user 1234 thinks. He goes, user 1234 is irrelevant. He goes, the majority of the audience gets it right. You're always going to have somebody who dissents. And I think in this situation, I have to remember that a lot of the people in my audience are pretty smart people, and they know where things are going. But sometimes I just let like the trolls annoy the hell out of me, and that's going to stop. And that's that. So let's see. So as far as meetups, yeah, sure, why not? But I'll step down still from the channel when I sell in the bull market. Again, links in the description when I'm going to sell 80% of my crypto. Just another thing I'm going to do. And then I won't come back until there's a bear market, because nobody needs me in the bull. Nobody needs this channel. I think the big piece of what people need is the encouragement to invest in the bear market, because no one wants to do it. Let's see. Random dude who has good takes. Shamath is probably right about his prediction that this will be the year stablecoins get the breakthrough. I have to agree. Like I've talked about before, if you're a business owner, I'm pretty sure you're sick of paying the 1.19 to 2.99% plus whatever, 10% per transaction fee for debit cards. Credit cards are even more that you have to pay because of Visa and MasterCard. I think you would much rather appreciate if people used some type of stable coin or some type of rail like XRP. And of course, people will say, that doesn't make any sense because I've used stable coins in Ethereum and it's super expensive. Yes, it is. But that's a layer one solution that is archaic in my personal opinion. I think the layer twos will do just fine. Have you ever used USDC on Base, which is on Ethereum? Super fast. Fractions of a penny. Very good. Arbitrum, even Polygon. I mean, Solana can be USDC as a layer one solution, but I mean, it's the rails. So I think that if everybody who is a small business owner, or even a large business owner, if they can get away from the Visa and the MasterCard and just use crypto on those rails, so much the better. And as far as finality and when a transaction actually is settled, it's much, much faster. So I know people some people hate XRP and some people love XRP. I think that could be, I mean, it's not a very sexy, thing. It's not as cool as say AI agents, but it's something that's actually very needed and can be used today. All right. Look at that. Chamath is already using stables in his business. That means adoption of the paper market. I got to take a look at that. I wonder which stable coin he's using and which rail he's using for that stable coin. Now that would be interesting. Yeah. Meme says, how about a stablecoin pegged to Bitcoin once you reach 21 million? Bitcoin created too much to hope for? No, you can definitely do it. Maybe it could run on the rails of Cardano, right? Cardano teamed up with Boss, Bitcoin OS, for transaction fees for Bitcoin. I'm not for sure if they're actually still in that, because I know that there was talk about how Bitcoin OS did their own token and it got kind of convoluted. Whatever. Thank you. What are the odds Trump won't follow through on his campaign promises with crypto? Kind of like how every politician does. Well, I said this on the last NFA Live. I had high hopes for Gary Gensler. He taught digital assets, Bitcoin, talk about ICOs when he was teaching at MIT. And I had high hopes for him. I did a whole video about how this guy gets it and he understands. He got in, he was a disaster. So I said last week on NFA Live, I said, I am cautiously optimistic. All politicians are liars. Gary Gensler is a politician. And Donald Trump, even though he is a businessman, he is still now a politician. So he has to make those promises. And we'll see if he works it through. But as a reminder, and I've said this many times too, we don't need the government to give us the green light for Bitcoin digital assets. We've done just fine of hitting almost $4 trillion market cap now. So if they don't want to play ball with us, that's fine. It just takes a little bit longer. So you can look at it as a positive or negative. The positive is you have longer time to accumulate whatever it is that you believe in. The negative is it doesn't pop off near as fast. So those are the things. Because let's be honest, when you have the full faith of the government backing you, things can really get done fast. America launched an S coin not too long ago. It's called the US dollar. And that's only backed by the US government, full faith, so sure. Do you think Trump will pardon Ross Ulbricht? I think Ross has a stash of Bitcoin somewhere, probably so. You would think he would have given the information to his family, even though he's locked up, if they needed to. Let's see. Let's see what that looks like on Polymarket. If you want to do degen stuff, Polymarket's the way to go. I mean, it just is. Ross. Oh, wow. Will Trump pardon Ross Ulbricht in this first week? 80% chance, yes. 81 to 22. So 80% chance, yeah. Polymarket's not wrong a lot. That's a pretty good chance. Actually, Polymarket predicted the presidential election. So we'll see. Yes, he'll pardon Ross. Is your hair darker? Trump had the balls enter a hostile libertarian convention, make the Ross promise. He'll do it. That's pretty good. No, still white on the sides. If he didn't pardon him yesterday, I won't be pardoned. Trump did his pardoning yesterday. We'll see. Rusty, if you think that, it's time to go to Polymarket and make that assertion and make some money off it. Yeah, Brian from Clear Value Tax. I had no idea that was his name. Would be amazing for Doge. True, very smart guy. Hey, Naz, thoughts on Ondo? I own some. Should be great for real world assets. We'll see. Oh, no way. Elon tweeted that Ross will be released. Well, that's interesting. Don't do it, Rusty. This is not financial advice. Golfer, get out of here. Let people gamble. If Bot wants to gamble and put up his entire life savings on a random bet, let him or her do that. Can we discuss the alien tech beyond ICP? Let's not. I own some. Hopefully, look, here's the thing. Everything you guys own, well, not everything, but the majority is going to banana zone it, as all Paul talks about. That it'll probably do great. All you got to do is just hold on to it. Everything pops off in the crazy bull market. I'm really not too, if you can't tell, I'm really not too concerned right now. I think everything started yesterday, even though we had a little bit of a pullback. Yeah, all for gambling. Okay. All right, everybody, that's it. So look, like today's video, like and subscribe. Thanks so much for stopping by, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.